Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, back with some more XCOM 2, and let's talk mods for a hot second. After last video and the untimely death of erratic Aardvark due to mod interactions, we've changed some things around a little bit. First, let's go over to the memorial because I forgot to say anything about her. I don't have anything more to say about erratic Aardvark than whoops no Overwatch, because the interaction of the Hive involves a lot of enemies popping out of the ground and attacking you from the tile they appear, and the Overwatch rules change mod that I have installed means that you can't shoot someone on the first tile they appear, which makes the Hive chrysalids literally impervious, and they just hit you and there's nothing you can do about it, and that obviously needed to be changed. So I've removed that mod because of the bad mod interaction with the Hive that it has. Now, there's a lot more to talk about with mods than that. That's the reason I'm actually bringing it up. So coming over, you'll see we're at force level 11. Last time we set it to force level 6, or to force level 10 rather, so it ticked up to 11 because the timer stays the same. So now we want to go back to set force level and change it to 7 because it's up 1 from where it used to be at 6. Only that's not true. See this infiltration mission? This mission had a force level generated when it was sent out. What I mean by that is, when this mission is sent out, its force level is locked in. It doesn't update when the timer ticks over anymore. This is Prevent, but is essentially a force level 6 XCOM team providing a force level 7 mission. But when you use that console command, it re-rolls all the missions, including this infiltration. So actually, until we finish that mission, we need to set it to force level 6. Now, that is again not the mod talk I want to talk about. The two mod things I want to talk about is one, I've changed my own tweaks. I have felt overwhelmingly that it has been the case that it's just like a little bit too knife edge, a little bit too precarious in every engagement, that there's just slightly too many enemies. And it's only getting worse the more I play with this setup. And at this point, I've decided that, you know what, it's time. I've reduced the guaranteed number of enemies in every pod from 2 to 1. At this point in the campaign, that's just the right number. It's possible, though, that earlier in the campaign it makes things too easy. And I think mainly it shows up that 2 front-loaded enemies is too much in infiltration missions with 6-man teams like this one. I think infiltration missions, when you get double pulls with all of these extra units, really just highlight how ridiculous 2 front-loaded enemies is. And most of the time we can navigate our way through it, but occasionally it feels genuinely out of hand, and I think that extra enemy is an imbalance on my end, so I've lowered it to just 1 guaranteed extra enemy, and then this normal 5% per level scaling additional enemies. Now, here's the main thing I want to talk about, and it's the reason I'm going to be taking a break from XCOM for about a week. Because every time I start XCOM, I feel this sense of dread, because there's going to be some inexplicable problem I have to troubleshoot, and the first step is to spend 25 minutes finding out if it's my fault or someone else's fault. And I'm just tired of troubleshooting XCOM right now, so I'm going to go on about a week hiatus. Next Friday, I'll start uploading XCOM again. Biotrip deployment, much like the Hive, isn't working. And I don't understand why. Now, when I go over to this console, I have the console command from Rusty Diaz that can dump the encounter list as the game is actually using them. I've done that. Biotroop deployment at our current force level has multiple enemies, followers, and leaders weighted at 300, and I've never seen one in the mission. And this is true with my mods disabled. I have no fucking idea. I can't even hazard a guess. The only guess I have as to what could be causing this is a setting in diverse aliens by force level. I'm gonna go turn it off before I continue recording. And what this setting does is it merges sitrep lists. Normally in a sitrep, you can have leaders with X followers, and sometimes you get 2 sitreps like that, and you can end up in a situation where you have a leader with no valid followers and they need to pull followers from the other sitrep list. And in the base game, you just end up with a leader and no followers, and merging the sitrep list fixes that issue. I feel like I probably butchered that explanation because I don't fully understand what I'm explaining, but it gives you an idea of what's happening. And I can't think of anything else that could even be interacting with this. Because Biotroop deployment is a sitrep from a mod. Nothing should touch it. My mods don't touch it. I don't understand what it could even be conflicting with, and that's the only thing I can even think of in all my mods that might be interacting. So I'm gonna go turn that off, and then we're gonna get into the mission. What is the mission though? Moderate difficulty, mission name, Spiny Gears. Rescue VIP from an abandoned vehicle, it's a scientist. That's not too bad of a mission. Biotroop deployment at force level 6 isn't that bad. Even force level 7 wouldn't be that bad. Force level 8, bio assaults it, and they're nightmares. That's gonna be bad. But right now, this is an okay sitrep. It basically just means expect a lot of grenades. Mach X is obviously terrifying. The assassin's presence is not actually feasible, it is guaranteed 0 because we saw her last mission. Now, I'm not too afraid of this mission, honestly. The sit reps aren't that bad, and it's reflected in this. I sent a 6-man team, but I did send good soldiers because 6-man teams are a little bit sketchy. 4 sergeants, 2 corporals, pair of combat engineers, an assault, and a sapper all carrying shotguns. Skirmishers still pretty close range with their bullpup, and our only long-range control unit's the Marine. We are, of course, carrying the mag cannon on our Marine and our shard gun on our assault. As far as 6-man teams go, it's one of the best ones we could have fielded. And I'm pretty comfortable with them. I think we're going to have a relatively routine mission here. Let me go make one last troubleshooting change and see if that fixes it. I doubt it will, but it's worth a shot. Getting into the mission, we spawned along an edge. Thankfully, we're not on the low ground at the very least. Huge high ground overlooking the objective, and then I'm not too far to the escape point from there. Odds are we're going to get into a fight well before then. I think ideally we would actually like to get into a fight over here, shooting into the low grounds. What's the route up to this building? There's a ladder here. I don't see any other ladders nearby. So moving towards the low ground could waste valuable time. That's okay. I'm going to go over here and check to see if there's any pods on the low ground to fight. Oh! Well, I mean, there are pods over here, but they aren't on the low ground. Okay, so what are we dealing with? Not biotroopers. That fix did not work. We have a sectoid, a mech, a frost lancer, a purifier, and a normal lancer. Terrifying. That is not a pretty pod. That is not something I enjoy dealing with. However, counterpoint, this rocket blows up the truck and does catastrophic damage. So this is something I've been thinking lately as well when I was like editing my videos and thinking about how to play correctly. I probably should never be sneaking to the objective or like passing up on the first pod I see it anyway. The correct play, I think, is like 99 times out of 100, ambush the first pod you see as fast as you can. And I could wait and get in a better position to fight whoever lives. But this is going to blow up the truck and deal catastrophic damage, which will kill the purifier and probably the mechs afterwards. Even though that veered hard, it still got the truck and still did ridiculous work. Exactly what I expected, even with a terrible rocket spread. A stun lancer has 6 health. I think our minimum damage here is 5. Can you grapple forward onto nothing? Damn shame. I could explosive action to get a shot here. We're probably finishing off that sectoid in the back with a grenade. I could take multiple chip shots if I have eyes on it from Plagueis. I can drop 1 here, and then the assault could take the second shots. Just from the open, honestly, like it doesn't matter. So we just need a kill on the stun lancer and we're good. I have a 4 to 5 ripjack here, actually. I don't know how that's relevant, but it seems like an important thing to consider. I'm gonna take it. It's gonna help us piece together a kill somewhere else. It clears out whether or not several piles we're moving to actually pull something. Now we know that 3 shotguns kills everything, and wouldn't know we have 3 shotguns, but we probably don't have line of sight on all 3. There's no way for my Marine to get eyes, ever. I could just run forward and grenade. Looking at grenade distance, I think that would work. It would destroy the loot, though. Slash now kills the stun lancer. 2 shotguns still kills that sectoid, but I think my sapper can't get eyes, unfortunately. I'm trying not to destroy its loot. Like, I have so many ways to do this. I just want to get the maximum benefit out of it. I can take my 2 shots on the sectoid and instead find a way to kill this stun lancer here. That should be doable. I should be able to move here on my Marine and chuck one of his grenades to kill the stun lancer. The bridge is in a slightly awkward position, though. Well, it's not like he was participating if he wasn't doing this. I could still just grenade them anyway, but that's not a good play. I found it. It's very precise. It's so precise I'm not willing to even have my hand on the mouse when I let go of it and press spacebar. I think that would be enough to knock it off. It's like 1 or 2 pixels. It's almost nothing. And with that, our last step in the plan is done. Easy eyes there, easy eyes here. Let's go on the Common Engineer first. They have a little bit further they can move. Then Dragon God won't be impeded by them. We pop back over to Jaded Rabbit, take our shot. And it's fine that missed. Shotguns have stocks. We'll get there eventually. Our plan doesn't actually involve landing shots.
Hey, we got loot here.
Pod wiped out. Hell of a burst rocket there. I guess I'll just move here and Overwatch on Fantastic Fox. Stay with the team. Mach X is coming. Yep. That's about right. Right on top of the objective, too. It's a perfectly fine place to be. Now, I honestly wouldn't mind seeing a pod sprinting into us from the left side. That would be helpful. I'm hearing steps over here, but it might just be the civilian. No, it's Advent Patrol sounds. It's not civilians. I'm guessing... Oh, maybe it was him. There was a civilian walking when I said that. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, first things first. Draugr, come grab the loot. And tell me what you think. I think I want to be here. I don't want to go too far forward. I want to be on this side, so I can grapple back up on the other side. Illyrium Core, Alloy's foregrip. Let's move first to full cover on the Marine. That's not the Marine. Oh, hi there, Muton. Gunslingers, tons of Advent. Civilian yelling, as always. You guys aren't actually very resistant to this. This will get both of them dead pretty soon. The Muton is a pretty serious threat, but it's not like he's in range to contribute there. I could just shoot the normal grenade instead, blow out their cover, get them in one-shot range for everyone else. We are definitely going to be grappling out of the way. Is this tile on fire? No. I could actually go to the other side if for some reason if I felt like that was a good thing. I can grapple up explosive action and take shots at both of these. That actually feels pretty sick. So yeah, my skirmisher's actually in a fantastic place to follow up on this with a kill. Provided that we actually land any shots here, which is always far from guaranteed. Alright, press Draugr. We're gonna grapple back up to the cover here. I promise it's not on fire, you're gonna be fine. Then we're going to explosive action and take some point shots. 71 is not bad. And the press Draugr is actually landing his shots, that's always great to see. 58, there's apparently a lot of built-in defense over here. But we're still building our heat up, getting the Ripjack into a better spot. Just run as far forward as I can on this Combat Engineer, it seems like the sensible thing to do. Also, something nice here is that the press Draugr is actually blocking this ladder for the Stun Lancer. See if we can't bring this man down. Nice, nice. Now, what do we see? I know the Muton's down here. I know the Stun Lancer's over here. Oh, this Trooper seems confused. We're not in that direction, buddy. If we can get eyes on him, he's dead, but I don't think we can. Oh, we're literally one tile short. Lucky. What else do we have? We have these two on the ground level. Now we can sprint them over to other places. Just get them focused up top. Or we can come down here and fight them. That gives them Muton and Stun Lancers good targets, and that's kind of the opposite of what we want to be doing. So I think we'll be passing on that. There shouldn't be much risk of a flank here, I would think. Maybe on the Gatling Trooper. If I could move here and hunker, it might be worth it. No, because of the Stun Lancer. God, I wish that I could get a good shot on this Gatling Trooper, just being that one tile off. The cannon's mobility, man, every time. I'm gonna move here on my Marine, not on my Assault. I'm gonna take the Overwatch there. And the sprint on the Marine is awkward. Here's the best spot he's getting to, which is to say the closest spot to the enemy that cannot be easily flanked. And hopefully Marionette Owl just kills that Gatling Trooper when it runs for cover. Alright, what do we have inside this dropship? We have at least a grenade launcher. We have a skirmisher, apparently, holding his gun upside down. That's terrifying. That's a sniper. We don't know the fourth one yet. That usually means assault or tech specialist. Yeah, here he comes. Ah, it's the Overwatch missing. Damn. Overwatch is fine. That's not a flank. 25%, who gives a shit what the odds are? Just kill my units. Fine. Oh, Marionette Owl losing that much health that early sucks. Their job is to be in line of sight of the most dangerous possible units on the map. Yeah, I'm not surprised they're pulling immediately. It's an assault, he has a sword on his back. Overwatch far out of line of sight on that skirmisher. God, that's just a terrifying Mach X pull, man. This Mach X pod is a fucking problem. So we have to pull that Overwatch at some point. There's nowhere to go to. We can't drop into the low ground and break line of sight because they'll have high ground flanks on us. We can't really get above them, ever. There's just nothing over here to use as cover because I've blown it all up. That was apparently some terrible short-term planning. I could take this slash on the basis that it's the furthest out of the way, but he's not actually guaranteed to kill. What if we just Hail Mary to rocket back here at roughly where these Overwatches are, right? Like, it'll probably break one of them, it'll break some cover, deal some damage. I've been looking at this for long enough that I'm just gonna Hail Mary this rocket and see if it makes things easier. Well, not for the Muton, but it did fix a lot of stuff involving Mach X. The Muton hits for 4 to 6, that's spooky as hell, but a Combat Engineer can run that. If I had one more tile of movement, man. I can still break line of sight here. They actually wouldn't be able to see me from most positions. I don't know how to deal with this Stun Lancer. It's so frustrating. If the Assault could just high roll it, it would make things so much easier. And if they can't, then we can follow it up with, like, a really weak reposition here. But this all falls apart because the whole reason we're talking about this is because we're worried about getting shot by that Muton. Really? How on earth? Oh yeah, you're sitting under the bridge. Fair enough. Fair enough. We can't really afford to take 6 on our assault, can we? Maybe we can. His odds shouldn't be that good. They'll be a lot better shooting at the low ground though, so... Where do you want to move? What can you even do that would be relevant? I guess I'm just moving to here to pull the Overwatch and taking a flank shot. I can move all the way over here. Just spread out our units a little bit in case of grenades. And we have to pull this on the Combat Engineer. There's no way we're pulling on our assault. Very nice. Car's not even on fire. That's also good. We have a 57 on Kong, a 43 on Cores. I think we just take our 57, right? Like, it's the most threatening unit on the map. It's the best odds we have here. Very nice. Only bleeding out, but he's still not shooting us. And we don't really care about killing them too much here because they are going to get to, you know... Like, we don't get their guns. We have to evac, so killing them and preventing them from evacing doesn't matter. We aren't taking their stuff either way. Now here, we have a position where we can AoE suppress all 3 of them. We only have the ability to shoot 2 of them, but that's still something very relevant. Being on this car is a little bit spooky, as it might get destroyed by a grenade from the Muton. If I could take an AoE suppress that included the Muton, that would make me feel a little bit better. And something like that's more likely to happen over here. We can get 2 members of Mach X and the Muton. That leaves, you know, just the sniper. Alright, fine. Fine, fair. So we're taking this one instead. The Muton can still shoot. Really? You just don't feel like suppressing the sniper anyway? Okay. I guess we don't have eyes on them. There's no line of sight, even though it was highlighting them. I didn't think to consider that. Fuck me, that's unfortunate. We have a Ripjack here, but we can't reposition afterwards, even though it's a guaranteed kill. 4 to 6 crit chance from the high ground, we can't take that. Is there anyone to follow this up if I do it? We have a 54 here to follow it up. We have the grenade. Okay, if this fails to kill, we can take the grenade on our skirmisher, so that's fine. Maybe I should have went forward to try to push into something else. I didn't even know you were down here. I just forgot about you. It's alright, you're incompetent, it's fine. Okay, all that worry for nothing, we can just easily get into a good cover position.
What did you expect?
Come on, let me actually use the breakthrough move. Get into full cover and be safe. Now over here... Right now, the only person they can see is Depressed Draugr, Jaded Rabbit, and Fantastic Fox, they being the sniper. Actually, they cannot see Fantastic Fox. I'm assuming they can see Depressed Draugr, though. Yeah, they can. Or not Depressed Draugr, Jaded Rabbit. Can they see Depressed Draugr? No. But they might have it from squad sights, the issue. I think my best move here is actually either drop down or hunker. I could take a grenade on Fantastic Fox and take that shot, I wanted 25 here. Without the cover would be a 55. I could take a frag here, blow out this, kill Kong in the back, and that would give me a 55 to kill. And that guy being alive is like a real legitimate threat. Is he the Grenadier? Shit, yeah, I want him dead. He's disoriented right now, it's okay. Same with the skirmisher in the back. It's not the biggest deal in the world right now.
Sure thing.
I am going to move Fantastic Fox over. I think I'm just going to drop this acid grenade, deal meaningful damage to both of them, set them up to be killed on the next shots. Taking a 55 on my skirmisher puts their life at a lot of risk for not very much gain, whereas hunkering with them ensures they're not going to die. Now, I can drop down, but I can't grapple back up, so I'd be like forced into fighting the gunslinger here. That might be okay, depending on where Dragon God can get to, but probably not. Dragon God's probably fighting that gunslinger already, which means the best thing to do here is just hunker down and wait. Now, let's see what they're up to. Taking huge damage from Acid Burn, dear lord. Alright, Muton, what do you have for us? You should be suppressed, but you just aren't. Oh, you're taking a shot at the Assault? He's in full cover. He won't die. Oh, man, the enemy shot percents this mission have just sucked. I have taken a lot of undeserved damage here. Don't you dare. Okay. I knew that shot was going to be around to 50%, but after all the other shit, nice. Good job, Marionette Owl. There's a reason we're putting those aim missions on you. Got a shot to finish you off. I've got a shot to finish you off. Can I get a grenade to him? I can get a grenade to him. It's a little bit awkward, but I can do it. And my gun's pretty much empty at the minute. So the play is just like very clearly reload grenade on my Marine. There's like nothing else I'm even considering. Because I can't see the sniper to do anything about it. That's the issue. Another Spec Ops durability? Sure, why not? The flamethrower has a lot of range. Oh, but she's in full cover, so it's not going to work. This one will, though. Yeah, let's put the sniper down. I just am not okay with this unit being alive. There's like 50% to kill every single turn they're active, man. They're awful. I can't line it up to catch anyone else in the blast, unfortunately. But we can still get her. Alright. Mach-X dealt with. Dragon God's in a little bit of danger, but if I hunker him, he just should be fine. We have 11 turns up, the timer's completely fine. I can move up here on my skirmisher with the intent of participating a lot next time. This is not a skirmisher. Look, skirmisher is very orange this mission. Maybe more so now that he's on fire. His turn's on lock, I guess. We're going to catch ourselves on fire and put ourselves out. Very fun. Really enjoyed that turn. I think I'm just hunkering here. I may as well reload first, but like, yeah, the thing you do here to be safe is just hunker. Which is something a depressingly large number of units are doing, but hey, we killed 2 members of Mach-X already, so... Yeah, that's all of them neutralized. We got the skirmisher over the end phase, these two are bleeding out, flames vote him. Just 4 active. 4? Muton, Gunslinger, who the hell are the other 2? Oh yeah, the disoriented bodies. Right. Count the ones that are bleeding out still. I can get to this full cover, there's no real blank available to this. So yeah, I'm just gonna run really far forward on Jaded Rabbit. I'm gonna be doing something very similar here, I think. Yeah, taking the high ground up here. It didn't occur to me that I could potentially pull doing this. I don't think that's a real risk, but holy shit, I wasn't considering that at all. And that's really bad of me. Okay, Mutons, Overwatching, Gunslingers, Overwatching. They're going to slowly reposition around and be a problem. Really? There was an angle for that. I was thinking there was no chance you could see that far into it, but apparently you can. Okay. Now we should be able to actually move and do things. You're on Overwatch. That shouldn't be hard for us to break. You can just chuck a grenade over the edge onto you. I mean, it exists, I'm sure. It's struggling, but we can get it. We've got a better grenade up here, but we don't want to waste that. We'd rather use the tools that are left on our combat engineers. So this grenade blows up his cover, hits him, hits his tile, shreds his armor. I should have reloaded first, but I don't think it'll come back to bite me. Oh, his cover's still there. Gross. I remember this before, but the Mutant Hunter, it was behind one of these and it didn't break on the first grenade. That's fine, though. We can reposition a slash here. And there could be a flank if we don't circle around, so we'll circle around. If I could get out, that would be better, but that doesn't seem like it's happening. But yeah, we just take the kill on the gunslinger here with Dragon God. It makes me really want this Mutant dead this turn, so let's see if we can't make that happen. And if it is or isn't dead, we'll inform where I'm supposed to move to. I've got a grenade here. I don't have a grenade here. I have a grenade here, but I also have a shotgun on the high ground, which is pretty good. I have a grenade here that is never going to be where it needs to be. Or sorry, that is never going to have any use other than this. The soldiers themselves can't possibly do anything else. They're only shooting. The game really does not want to give this to me. And I'm thinking it's never going to work. Alright, let's see if we can't get it from up here then. Yeah, this one can actually get him. But the game doesn't want to give this to me either. Why is it so hard? For some reason, the cover isn't flashing here. I mean, it definitely should hit the cover. It hits every tile around the cover and lands beside it, right? How could the cover not be getting hit? But it isn't. Alright, I guess you're living the turn then. That sucks. I have a Ripjack here, which is up to 5 to 6. Inherent defense is 91, and he'll counterattack. Yeah, that's not good. You sure you can't get this grenade, man? I can highlight the cover. That's not nothing. The thing is, if I'm not killing him, I can't stay where I am. I'm afraid to run further forward on my Marine because I might pull. God, I cannot believe we actually don't have a way to kill him this turn. I just need... no, because the Ripjack doesn't work because he has Counter-Strike. I've got 3 damage here. If I can find 4 damage anywhere, anyhow. I can Demolition this, actually, can't I? I cannot Demolition this. Because, yeah, it's blocked. Can't go any further. But that's fine. It's below us anyway, so it makes sense that we can't. I'm going to drop here into Overwatch, I think, to make sure the Mutant doesn't do anything crazy. We have 10 turns left. We're not really out of time yet. It's fine. Just get out of the way here. Fall back to, like, the least flankable position I can find, which is going to be this. We need to put this guy down eventually, but apparently we're not very good at it. I'd rather be moving up anyway. I guess moving up towards the high ground is the place I want to be going on the Marine. And also away from a grenade from the Mutant is always nice. Don't you dare. Thank God.
That was close.
There was just nothing we could do about that. We just didn't have good angles. It's fine. We're not getting their guns anyway, so it doesn't matter that they got away. Okay, now let's fall. This is the exact same thing that happened with the Mutant Hunter. It refused to die to explosives, and then it just mysteriously vanished at the end of the Mutant's turn. God, I hate that. We're just gonna, like, walk up as close as we can and shoot him. That's probably just it dealt. Are you kidding me? They're not a guard pod? They're over there? That is nonsense. There might be another pod then. I've killed 16, right? That's 2 pods? Yeah, the ambush on the truck, this pod. Are you not the guard pod? Is this a 4 different... I'm breaking. Just run forward, somebody. I'm convinced there should not be a 4th pod on this mission, meaning that that was the guard pod, and they're just not doing their job. Who has the rocket left? Nobody? Yeah, we fired one against Mach X. I'm gonna run forward to here, and it's not gonna pull anything, because there's nothing left to pull. Because the guard pod just abandoned its duties. I can probably kill this Frost Lancer, and it's probably the best thing I'm doing this turn. So yeah, take that. Holy shit, they were not supposed to be there. Depressed Draugr can take shots at that. Not many. Not well. I really need you to be, like, at least hunkered down, if not, like, completely out of sight. here's probably the best spot, but there's actually a flank on that, so... Probably just gonna have to hunker there, which does mean that we're trying to get the kill back here, so... Let's see if we can't. There's very good odds we get the kill here. It's fine, we still have 2 more shots. Explosive action. Wasn't expecting that to use this turn, but okay. Alright, cool, someone has to help him then. God, this Muton is such a hassle for no fucking reason. Alright, Depressed Stronger. Is your gun defective in some way? What was that, man? I had to just do a quick sanity check to make sure it was miserably bad odds of doing nothing. 3.5%. Better chance of doing literally nothing than I thought. About that Muton business. And there ain't no cover over here either. We can mysteriously see the Muton from this tile. Usually, if you try to just lean over the side and shoot somebody in the face, it doesn't work, but apparently you can do it here. Oh, because the wall's broken, he's stepping out to the open tile. Alright, I get it. Now, if we had landed any of this 60%, it wouldn't be a problem. But, that's not the world we live in. There's an Abbott mech, we don't want to stack too hard for rockets. You're just like sprinting here to try to get involved, right? I guess this would be a better tile, probably. I don't know. This does seem like it should be the better tile. Why did I do that? Oh, I'm so greedy for the movement because of the cannon. I forgot he's on 2 fucking health. No one left has smokes available either. Okay, no, I've got to play. I've got it. I figured it out. Fantastic Fox is going to run down here, right next to the Muton, and he's going to leave him a present. And then we're going to run into cover under the staircase. Do we want to move further into... Oh, this Abbott mech will have a flank, though. Is there full cover anywhere? No, this place is a goddamn war zone. The Abbott mech can run forward and take a flank shot. And that sucks. A lot. But even a crit shouldn't kill, I think. Absolutely. Maybe a high roll crit does. And then we pull back into the... Whoops. We pull back into the full cover over here. And now the only person who's going to die is Marionette Owl. And that Muton. Alright, Officer marking. Combat Engineer is fine. That doesn't matter to me at all. Who did you mark? That wasn't the Combat Engineer. You marked my... Skirmisher? Oh, my other Combat Engineer. No, that's fine. If everyone wants to shoot at him, I would really appreciate that. Please don't shoot at Marionette. He's only in half cover. Alright, that's a pretty good flank. Still didn't do that much as of Combat Engineers, but dear lord. Don't crit for 8. That's acceptable. That is not a crit for 8. Alright, I think we made it through the Nightmare Pool. That was not at all where I thought the last pod was. I was just like, oh yeah, it's the guard pod. The guard pod must have heard the rocket and charged toward me, and I hadn't considered that possibility. Good, I really need Fantastic Fox to contribute. It's currently an uncomfortable amount of robots on the board. We didn't get punished for this place, and now we get to reap the rewards. Alright, take him down. Then we're probably killing him with a suppression. I don't know that we can afford to leave him up is the thing, in case the suppression misses. I wish I knew how much bonus the suppression got for this soldier. I have a plus 15% chance to hit on reaction shots. So I assume the way that works is my 97 becomes a 112. Then you multiply that by 70% because of the 30% penalty. And there's still like a 1 in 4 chance of him living. So we do want to finish him off. That was a bad suppression I should have overwatched. Got a run and gun shot to here. I want this mech dead as well as the issue. I can move here, chuck a mine on him, shoot him. It's not very pretty, honestly. That's a pretty terrible play. What we can do is pull back a lot of people who are in awkward positions here. This riot mech is our main concern. Yeah, I shouldn't have taken that shot. Because, like, look at this. I should not have suppressed. I just have to do this. I can't afford a 1 in 4 for this mech to live. That suppression should have been an Overwatch. That was a pretty serious misplay. Now, this drone's not really a big problem. Will interfere with our plans, but it's not super important. If I were to blue move down, they could probably get grenade to this mech. Certainly, either way, I'm in the wrong position currently. I want to be moving. That's not reaching the mech. I can get it on this riot drone, or med drone rather, and there is literally nothing else this unit can do. So, I guess that's acceptable. That gives an easy kill to Fantastic Fox on the med drone. Officer and priest. Does this priest have a flank, actually? The priest does have a flank on this present position. I could fall back to here to get rid of it, but then I'm in the open. That's 7 health, I'll be fine. So let's take that. It's only a 67 gross. I just imagined you were better at this than you are. Should have like checked my accuracy before I moved. Over here we have a 97 to hit, but I mean we don't want to be flanked by this guy. Well, bad news, we are flanked with this guy. That doesn't count. Perfect Tragedy has 4 ablative health and a point of armor. He can be flanked, it doesn't matter. Depressed Draugr is a million miles away with a single move action. We can grapple to the other side of the road and run forward though. That is actually pretty relevant positioning. We're gonna stay in full cover. We like not being dead, not being wounded. So this is all that's left. Where do we want to move to? How are we playing around this flank? I don't dislike shooting him. The issue is that when you shoot him, he has 2 armor. We're not getting very much done. I don't want to smoke us, because he's going to run and stand in the smoke with us, right? Like, that's the issue. I could cross over to the other side and be here. I don't know why that's valuable. Just felt really cool to do. I think I'm going to run up here, throw a defensive mine onto this tile, and overwatch. I think that's the most relevant positioning and most damage I can get out of Jaded Rabbit. So yeah, this feels like the best thing he can do. I know the mech can run up here and punch him and it's gonna fucking suck, but I don't feel like there's a good way to move him away that like doesn't just put someone else in equivalent danger. You fool, we knew this was coming. That was pretty solid, honestly. Did he overwatch? Oh my god, you idiot. It's okay, even if you freeze his weapon, he can just reload and shoot the mech to kill it. He doesn't need a second action this turn. Am I flanked by that priest and they just chose to blue... Hold up. What's the line here? Was this highlighted red when I moved here and I just didn't realize I was flanked by the priest? Thank you for... You guys are so nice for not killing Jaded Rabbit, because I'm terrible at the game. Holy shit. Anyway, shoot him. Yeah, that's fair. You don't deserve to be alive, so I guess it's only fair that you're not contributing. Yeah, finish him off in Overwatch. If we had Overwatch, instead of wasting our suppression, he would actually already be dead. Even though the Ripjack is built up so much, this ablative health, man. This ablative health just killing our potential. But we do have a second slash. You can only get through so much. So yeah, we're just gonna run forward and melee this priest down. That's a pretty serious eye roll. Before I move him though, let's go over here. Do I want to be visible to the low ground? I could just like fall over here and not be seen. Based on what happened over here with like the crazy flank from down to the top over here, I'm going to assume they're just going to be able to see my depressed Draugr no matter where I put him. And I'm going to take the cover. 7 is such a fucking large number. High heat skirmishers just start doing a lot of work. It just feels like every time I get to high heat skirmishers, the part of the fight that was stressful is already over. I shouldn't have moved there. I should have... I don't know. Maybe that is the correct spot. Yeah, it's in the smoke. It's in the smoke. That actually does make it the correct spot. Just gonna run forward to here and start threatening a flank on that officer. We're pretty close to being done here. Just going to blue move forward and reload on this soldier. We have plenty of time to kill one officer and leave. That's not going to be an issue. Hey, Perfect Tragedy. I just heard that man is overwatching. You want to do something about it? Oh no, you shot at my skirmisher. Also, 9% is a lot worse than I expected it to be. Full cover, that's right. I can flamethrow you, but it's just like wholly unnecessary. Let's get some payback on admin, I guess. Just these two running around stabbing everyone. Yeah, sure. Alright.
Go, go, go.
That was a long mission, but we got through it.
Je dois pouvoir faire ça.
Not too bad, honestly. For a Mach X mission and the like level of unexpected a couple of pulls were,
Go, go.
I feel that could have went much, much worse than it did.
Overwatch.
I'm playing... Oh, alien activity. There is... The music just changed, though. Maybe there isn't a fourth pod. I don't know. I'm gonna play this real slow, though. I'm gonna play like there is a fourth pod and get everyone nice and grouped together before I push forward. The fact that alien activity actually flashed there scares me tremendously. Well, I mean, I'm not getting it either way, but there's only a 6% chance that I get punished for dreaming that I can get insights. Which we couldn't get either. None of it mattered.
We're in.
Just Overwatch.
Overwatch.
I need everyone else just running to catch up, really.
Affirmative. I'm going. Tout de suite.
Oh, reinforcements can come.
Menace 1-5, we're picking up an enemy transport inbound.
Alright, that's fine.
Position.
I still have a common engineer that can pull an Overwatch for any Overwatches that are actually in a vision of us.
Tout de suite.
Let's go ahead and evac everyone who is here and continue moving the people who can actually get out this round. Oh, like the common engineer is supposed to pull the Overwatch. Yes, perfect, done. Great job.
Get it done.
Fantastic, Fox. It is now your unfortunate job to pull Overwatches. I'm trying to figure out where I can put him to pull Overwatch as well, like as in not from the low grounds. I should be able to put him here and pull the Overwatch while dashing to the objective. That actually might be too far away. Yeah, so it turns out I played myself. Now I understand what was happening. We're running. We fucked up pretty badly this last phase where I thought we were in danger and we just weren't. But I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine. And yeah, this mission feels like it would have been unmanageable with another unit stapled onto every pod. That felt like it would have been distinctly overtuned. I can't really muster teams much better than this at this point in the campaign. Now, if they flat sprint an Overwatch, it could be a bit of a mess.
Some advent here.
How many Overwatches are we going to see in vision of us?
Watch the flank.
Oh, a lot of them gave up the high ground. That's good for us. None of them Overwatched. Brilliant.
Sure thing. Sure thing.
We don't even have to risk a wound or even a death on Fantastic Fox. We just get to leave.
VIP secure and in position for evac.
Alright.
Status confirmed. Mission
Definitely could have gone better. Definitely could have gone worse. The beginning of this was just sketchy as hell. All of those 25 to like 35% shots that landed for like 4-6 damage at the beginning made the entire rest of this a little bit nerve-wracking, but after that, things felt very good. Now, Depressed Draugr has the unfortunate distinction of joining Dread Mechanism as an F-tier soldier that simply cannot do their job. They're being hard carried by the Ripjack here. You would think they were just shooting their gun to build heat and not actually to kill the enemies. Perfect Tragedy with 2 kills, 31 damage, perfect accuracy. 4 kills but only 20 damage on Dragon God. 3 and 20 on Fox. Marionette Owl could have done a lot better. I think if I'd Overwatched on that turn instead of wasting a suppression, he actually would have gotten MVP to be at like at 40 and 34 or something if he had Overwatched that spark. But I messed that up. Jaded Rabbit doing like half decently but missing way too many shots. Yeah, it's just... This is just Shotgun Explosives gang doing Shotgun Explosive things. There's not a lot more to this mission than that. Also, I still don't know why Biotroops aren't here. I can't even hazard a guess why that would be the case. So those wounds vary from not even relevant on Jaded Rabbit to a bit rough on Dragon God to rip my AT Marine on Marionette Owl. That is brutal. And the only promotion we got is a single sergeant on Fantastic Fox. They are going to be taking Demolition. Although every time I take that ability, I think more and more, maybe it's better to take airburst grenades on my sappers. Oh well. For that mission, we got a PCS speed, some Illyriums, Malways, a core. Good rewards, but like, not the best. The research time is appreciated because we are, however far away we are too far away from mag weapons. 15 days still. Now, coming back to the strategy layer, I think we're just continuing to make contact, nothing more, nothing less, so let's get right to it. Right back into it, I see. What's our assault mission? Weights. Set. Force level 7. Gotta fix that. Now, what is this mission? Show of force. Large number of Advent troops under Advent leadership, fighting the lost, delaying rural checkpoint, or are we countering that? I think this is the counter, actually. Yeah, this is the counter. Alright, let's go there. Let's get out a team. We get to bring our sparks along, so that'll be tremendously helpful. Not just because they're strong, but because they don't get tired. And that's so huge. Fiber Giant still at 7 of 14. I'm going to keep bringing Decoy Express instead for the time being. That wound is just a little bit much. And Decoy Express is almost at full health. They're 3 hours from being finished repaired. And then, of course, we're going to bring Dread Mechanism and Macro Machine, and we're going to try to find a combat support, field support rather, to bring, right, all my field supports are afraid of people missing shots. Where's that infirmary again? Moon Unit is reliable enough. They're not going to panic for no reason. Now, looking at these other slots. Lunar Miracle, were you a sergeant? No, they're just a corporal. Damn shame. If they were a sergeant, I could send them out on sergeant requirement missions, but I can't. So looking at this, what we really want is like one close range unit, a Marine, and a, like, anything for the last two. So Marine is the big thing we're looking for, and that is Lost Center only. And we're actually not going to have Marines after this. We're going to have to promote people to Marines. I'm almost looking at promoting 2 more soldiers to Marines and just bringing 3 Marines right now. What are our numbers? I feel like we just don't have enough Marines. We have 5 assaults, 7 combat engineers like you do, 4 medics, 4 supports, 3 Marines, 4 marksmen, 5 sappers, and the rest of this doesn't really count except for tech specialist. I feel like I need a lot of Marines, and with the death of Erratic Aardvark, I'm behind on Marines instead of ahead. I'm not actually against like bringing 2 different rookies as new Marines. I think I'm gonna do that, honestly. It results in a really lopsided team that desperately needs cover disruption. But we did just get a new Sergeant Sapper, and we have one available anyway as well. So I'm gonna bring Fantastic Fox again. I'm gonna bring some rookies and make them into Marines, because this is really just our Marine training mission. I'm gonna take the weaker soldiers, as in the ones with lower will, so the 43 and the 1 plebeian and crash. So this is a very weird team. Like, the first 4 soldiers, they just make sense. We got our sparks, 1 of each kind, and a combat support to help the whole team as well as this. But normally a combat support doesn't have 4 good targets. We have 3 Marines and our artillery spark. Our 2 new Marines are Arrogant Plebeian and Famine Crash. As you can see, we got a pair of mag cannons on these, the Marksman Carbine here. This is a lot of mid to long range fire support. It's also going to just be an inherently slow team with our spark here and these 2 cannons. But it's a very interesting team, a very different team. And honestly, it doesn't feel like a weak team looking at it. Although one thing that's very important, I don't want to duplicate this acid grenade, I want to duplicate the frag grenade. And in fact, I don't even want to bring the acid grenade. I'll give that here as a secondary grenade option for this Marine, because it's so important that Fantastic Fox is blowing up huge amounts of cover for these Marines. I just don't care at all about the acid grenade because I'm enabling so many different players with those frag grenades. And that makes me realize, why would I give you the cool grenades when I could give the cool grenades to the sort of sapper over here? 2 frags, a gas, and acid? Do I have any other cool grenades to give to him? Nah. This is the weirdest team I've sent, and like, I honestly think this might just be the weirdest team I've sent on channel so far, and I really like it. It's weird in a very interesting way. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to play. But that's gonna be a while from now, because as I said at the start of the video, I've just been dreading turning this on, troubleshooting problems. I'm gonna sort out all the conflicts I know about, sort out all the issues I know about in my own mods, and just like take a week to cool off and stop being on tilt about having to troubleshoot shit. I'll still be back tomorrow with Cult of the Lamb, but for a little while it's just gonna be a video a day and no XCOM. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you're still enjoying the series, and if you did, then consider commenting, subscribing, all that nonsense really helps the channel grow. And either way, I'll see you in the next one.